And what of the Green Party? Well, leader Elizabeth May made news on the weekend when she announced that independent MP Blair Wilson was joining her party. Well, that means that if Parliament were to resume, Wilson would be the first person to sit in the House of Commons, or any other Canadian legislative body for that matter, as a member of the Green Party. But Parliament is not going to resume. It will be dissolved for the election. On the weekend, May said that is just a technicality, that Wilson is now a Green MP, and that means that she should be included in the party leader's TV debates. The Green Party leader joins us from Toronto. So I guess you have your running shoes on and are ready for an election, but I know you also were in contact with the representatives of the television networks today as they get ready to organize leaders' debates in the coming campaign. So tell me how that went.
Well, they actually asked me to keep it confidential, Don, so I don't know what I can tell you except to say that we had a conversation and that they will be making decisions soon. We have cleared every hurdle that they've ever set out before us. At one point, we were told the Greens couldn't be in the leaders' debates because you didn't see the Green Party between elections. Well, that's certainly not the case anymore. We are actually playing a vital role in the political life of this country on a daily basis. We now, of course, you know, we run candidates right across the country and had full slates in 2004 and 2006. We're polling basically neck and neck with the NDP. We're a federally funded party, and now that last hurdle, we have a sitting member of Parliament in the Green Party before the dissolution of the House of Commons in Blair Wilson, who represents West Vancouver, Sunshine Coast, Sea to Sky country. So I believe that by right and in fairness and in the interest of democracy, we've earned our right at the podium to participate in the televised leaders' debates, and I expect to be there.
Well, what I hear, though, from some of the other parties, and you've probably heard it too, first, Mr. Wilson was elected to Parliament, but not as a Green Party member. And secondly, he is not going to actually sit in Parliament as a Green Party member. He's had as a Liberal and then as an Independent. So they have made the argument that he does not meet the criteria of being elected as a Green Party member or sitting as a Green Party member.
Well, the Bloc Québécois participated in the debates when none of them were elected as Bloc Québécois members. And Mr. Preston Manning joined the leaders' debate when they had one member in the House of Commons. And, of course, the House is not technically dissolved until Mr. Harper visits the Governor-General and dissolves the House. Mr. Blair Wilson is a member of Parliament for the Green Party before the dissolution, and that meets the criteria.
Well, I guess you may or may not have. I see you also have engaged a lawyer, so I'm not sure you're entirely sure of your ground on that, Elizabeth. Well,
I'm sure of my ground on it, and I'm sure of the fairness of the argument, and that's why if we have to turn to federal court to ensure that the airwaves serve a public benefit, the airwaves are a public service, and they do not belong to any one network or consortium of networks.
Before the 1993 election, just to set the historical record straight, both the Reform Party and Deborah Gray, and the Bloc Québécois, and none other than Gilles Duceppe, had people elected to Parliament as members of those parties, both in by-elections, I grant you, but they were elected as party members.
Gilles Duceppe was at that point listed as an independent on the ballot.
In the 1990...
Yes. Yeah, because the Bloc Québécois did not yet have official party status, and they could not be listed on the ballot as Bloc Québécois. So he was elected as an independent, although, like his conservative colleagues, served with the banner, the Bloc Québécois.
Well, the Conservatives and two Liberals fit the Wilson criteria in that they were elected and then moved over.
And of course, Mr. Wilson had been sitting as an independent for 10 months. He didn't abandon a party with which he was elected and move across the floor. Blair Wilson sat as an independent for most of the last year.
So if you can't get into the debate, will you go to court to try and get into the debate if the consortium don't let you in, or will you try to block the debate because you're not a part of it?
Let's be clear that I still see there to be no objection to our inclusion in the debates under any of the criteria the consortium had previously outlined. And we know that 77% of Canadians in two different polls support my participation in the debates. Canadians from coast to coast get to find out what Mr. Duceppe thinks about issues without being able to vote for the Bloc Québécois. We run right across the country, and there really is an interest, in the interest of democracy, that the Greens be allowed to participate in the leaders' debates. That said, party executives have been speaking with a lawyer. You'll hear more about that. I haven't been in direct contact with the lawyer they've retained. But the intention is that we have a legal right, and if we should be denied participation in the debates, we will take what steps are required to ensure that our right to participate is protected.